everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger, here with my new Empowered Moments video for the week of Monday, January 30th through Sunday, February 5th, 2023. For this week's Empowered Moments video, we'll be using the Tarot of Dreams by Chiron Marchetti for the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from another brand new deck. I know I used a brand new deck last week, but also a new deck this week called Energy and Spirit Oracle Deck by Sandra Ann Taylor. So I just literally opened up this deck. I smudged it, cleansed it, blessed it with Palo Santo. I also infused it with Reiki, with high vibrational energies, so it should be all good to go for that special message. So just a reminder that this week's video is bringing us into a new month, the month of February. So be sure to go onto my YouTube channel and look for that monthly Empowered Moments video for February 2023. It will be complete with the numerological energy vibration for the month of February, astrological transits of significance, messages from our angels and guides for the collective, and then a special message card depending on your stone of choice for that. So before we get into our stones of choice for this week, let's take a look at, or do an empowered moment. So let's close our eyes, relax our body, and clear our mind of all thoughts, making sure your legs are uncrossed so that the energy flows freely and easily. Maybe putting your hands in your lap with palms facing the ceiling to be in that receptive mode to spirit, visualizing, sensing, seeing, feeling, or just knowing that you're surrounded in unconditional love and light, peace and healing, guidance, tranquility. The golden white light of God's source energy universe, Great Spirit, all that is surrounding you from head to toe. Let's take in a deep breath, breathing in that golden white light, that energy from the divine into every cell of our bodies. As you exhale, letting go of all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. And this week, we have a full moon in Leo, meaning the sun is in the opposite sign of Aquarius and the moon in the creative, loving sign of Leo the lion. Let's focus our intention. Let's focus our attention on that Leo moon and what that might bring for us. Now we know that Leo is a sign of shining our light, creative self-expression, fun, recognition, appreciation, enjoyment. And it does rule the heart chakra. The heart chakra, that place of unconditional love. So that Leo energy, the highest expression, can bring us to connection to that unconditional love within our heart chakra, not the ego love, the personal love, although those are all fine too, but let's focus on that highest intention, opening up to gratitude, opening up to non-judgment, opening up to acceptance of who we are and who each other is on this planet. And see or feel your heart chakra expanding. Visualize or see or feel or just know that there's a beautiful ball of emerald green light at the heart chakra now. And that ball of emerald green light is spinning and turning, balancing and healing that chakra. Healing that chakra in regards to relationships, emotional connections with others, and your emotional connection to yourselves. Breathing in deeply, that emerald green light, as that ball of light spins and turns at the heart chakra, balancing, healing, protecting and guiding you on your path forward, and asking for the most positive emotional self-expression of your light be projected out into the world during this week of the full moon in Leo. Let's breathe that intention into every cell of our bodies. Releasing, exhaling, being at peace, feeling balanced and feeling grounded in your energy and in your heart. And when you're ready, in your own time, you can open your eyes, return to this time, this place. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our stones of choice for this week. I went out to lunch with a couple of new friends that I met recently, and I noticed that across the street looked like there was a crystal store that I'd not ever seen before. So of course, after lunch, I had to walk over there and go and check it out. And sure enough, it was one of the largest crystal stores that I've ever been in. It was beautiful and had large pieces and cathedrals, like amethyst cathedrals, citrine cathedrals. It had bracelets and pendants and earrings, and it had some small stones as well. And of course, I had to look at all those small stones, as I'm always gathering new specimens for these videos, as well as new crystals and stones to wire wrap for my special intention pendants. So the first stone of choice, these are all cabochons, by the way. And the cabochon, what a cabochon is it's a thinner stone. It's like a slice of stone with a very flat back. That's what a cabochon is. And then it's kind of rounded and polished and beautiful in the front. They can be oval, they can be round, they can be square or rectangular. So this one is malachite. And the malachite, one of the things that malachite is good for is it helps to reveal and heal emotional pain. So definitely good for that heart chakra that we were talking about. In fact, all of these stones are related to the heart chakra. So it helps to reveal and heal emotional pain and brings ease in times of change, right? As we go through times of change, it brings more of an ease as we go through those changes. The second stone of choice, also a heart chakra stone, beautiful pink rhodochrosite cabochon. And this one, of course, relates to the heart chakra, as I said, too, and a little bit different kind of vibe, right? This is that pink energy of the heart chakra is unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness. The rhodochrosite specifically helps to really open that heart chakra, encourages a positive outlook, and improves our sense of self-worth and soothes our emotions, improves our self-worth and soothes our emotions. And then the last stone of choice, and we're back to green, which is again the other heart chakra color, the one that we usually associate with the heart chakra. I'm holding this up to the light before I put it on camera and I can see the inclusions in it. I don't know that you're going to be able to see that, but this is green jade. Yeah, I can't see that in this reflective light, but when I hold it up to the light, like I have a window here, I can see, like, I don't know, it looks like if the sky were green instead of blue, it's like little pillowy clouds through it. So I can see the light kind of moving through this green jade. The green jade is a symbol of serenity, purity, wisdom, and protection. It helps to stimulate ideas, and it helps to stimulate insightful dreams, meaning nighttime dreams. You might often hear of people putting jade under their pillow to kind of activate or stimulate their dream time. All right, so again, the stones of choice, all beautiful. The malachite, cabochon, the more rectangular rhodochrosite, cabochon, and another rectangular green jade. Okay, so let's talk about the energy of this week. On Monday and Tuesday and into Wednesday, there's not a lot happening or going on with the larger planets connecting to one another. But what we do have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is the moon, which is our emotional nature, our feelings. And we might as well talk about it since we're leading up to a full moon at the end of the week. But the moon is in Gemini those first 3 days of the week. Now, Gemini is a logical, intellectual sign. And again, the moon rules our feelings and emotions. And so the moon might not be as comfortable there. It's a very busy kind of sign, Gemini, and it's considered mutable, which means changeable and ungrounded. And, it's kind of vacillating all over the place with its energy. So if we use that idea or information based on the moon ruling our feelings, we could say that maybe our emotions and feelings might be a little bit all over the place, that we're vacillating back and forth, that we're in between, like wanting to go with our heart and what feels right and going with what our mind says and what intellectually seems appropriate, with that Gemini energy. Now, as we get to Wednesday, it's the 1st of February now. So again, you'll want to watch that monthly Empowered Moments video for February because we're into a new energy vibration for that month. But on Wednesday the 1st, astrologically, we have the sun in Aquarius, and it's in a sextile to Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries, the sign of the self, of the individual. Now, the sun, which is also about our self-expression, identity, confidence, and courage, is in Aquarius. Aquarius is a fixed sign. It likes to think the same way, do the same way. It's hard to get an Aquarius to kind of budge. And Aquarius energy can be very objective. It is an air sign, so it does deal with the mental realm. So very objective Aquarius sun, which is again all about your unique self-expression out into the world. The sextile to Chiron is an opportunity to heal something. And since Chiron is in Aries, first sign of the zodiac, that rules the sense of self as well, I feel like this is an opportunity to heal something in regards to our independence, our originality, our initiative, our, again, self-expression, our sense of self. So look for that opportunity to bring healing. Maybe it's through meditation that you take the opportunity to meditate to come into that healing. Maybe you're listening to conversations, or maybe you're answering someone's text or email and connecting with somebody. So look for where's the opportunity for me to heal my confidence and my individuality and my independence and my uniqueness and my originality and my ability to express in a different way out into the world. Now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is when we get into some bigger energies here. Friday the 3rd, we have the sun in Aquarius, and it's challenging. It's in a challenging square aspect to Uranus, which is actually the ruling planet of Aquarius, but Uranus is in Taurus. So what does that mean? Aquarius is all about freedom and liberation. Uranus, the ruling planet, all about freedom and liberation. So the sun and Uranus are coming into this challenging square, and it has something to do probably with us wanting to break free from something. So maybe we want to break free from a situation of some sort if we're feeling held back or limited, or again, just our individual nature is wanting to kind of just liberate ourselves, maybe in a new direction. Now, this can also be freeing yourself from an old belief system or thought process, subconscious pattern, It depends on where it falls in your chart. But we have to also look at this liberation, freedom energy as maybe just being within ourselves, where we need to like break free of a way that we perceive our lives and ourselves. We need to change something up. We need to kind of bring in some sort of very sudden, unexpected redirection maybe within ourselves. Now, this is again maybe on our paths too, a sudden, unexpected redirection on our paths and breaking free from some sort of circumstance. So I feel like that's a pretty strong aspect leading up to the full moon on Sunday. But also then on Saturday, we have another challenging square aspect. And this time it's between Venus and Mars. And Venus and Mars are the lovers, right? Venus rules the feminine archetype. Mars rules the masculine archetype. Venus is in Pisces, which is all about unconditional love and compassion and forgiveness and just kind of going with the flow and dreams and fantasy and sometimes illusion and sometimes confusion. So Venus rules relationships, partnerships, personal resources like money and finances. It rules our sense of self-worth and our values. Mars, on the other hand, is kind of like raw energy. Mars rules energy, action, forward movement. He's the warrior. He wants to take charge. He's confident. He's courageous. And he's just wanting to blaze a new trail. He's in Gemini. And of course, if you've watched my videos, you know that Mars has been in Gemini since late August 2022, which is a really long time for Mars to be in any sign of the zodiac. And that's because it went into that retrograde motion in the fall. And it has recently, within the last couple of weeks, turned back to direct motion, but will remain in Gemini until March. So a really long time that he's spent in this mutable, changeable, logical, mental analysis-oriented sign. So what does that mean as far as maybe relationships? Well, the square here, and again, with Venus being in mutable, changeable Pisces, Mars is in mutable, changeable Gemini, I feel like there could be some misunderstandings. There could be some confusion, some kind of chaotic energies that occurs maybe in relationships and partnerships. If we want to look at that in the most positive way, I would say this would be a time period to just go with the flow, to not try to make any solid plans, to not try to make any solid firm decisions right now. This is just a time to kind of ride the wave and let energy take you where it will. Use your voice, use your communication. Gemini is all about communication here. So Mars wants to put his energy towards thoughts, perceptions, ideas, and communication. Venus, on the other hand, wants to just settle in and kind of snuggle into these energies of unconditional love and romance and intimacy and again the romanticized version of love and relationships. So this again might be challenging, and even in finances and money matters, I would say it's not a good time to start something new. It's not a good time to sign a contract. It's not a good time to make a firm decision, because those mutable signs of Pisces and Gemini, where Venus and Mars are, might be tending to change their mind. It's like first they think they want to go over here, but then they change their mind and they want to go over in this direction instead. So if you can hold off, and even if you're working, let's say you're working on your taxes, for instance, it's probably not going to be the greatest of energies to focus and organize your monetary energies there, your information. This could be possibly like, gathering different information and pieces of the puzzle that you're going to then organize and logically work on a little bit later. And as far as sense of self-worth and how one feels about themselves, again, it's open to kind of change and fluctuation. We want to be in this mode of feeling, what do I want to say? Like everything, like we're on top of the world and everything is beautiful and everything is wonderful. And I strongly encourage you to go ahead and feel that way. That's a beautiful place to be with Venus and Pisces, right? But don't let Mars come in and kind of be the monkey wrench in the mind that takes you out of that beautiful, harmonious, fantasy-like vision, because Mars and Gemini, again, might bring in this kind of hamster wheel of sometimes possible negative thinking or chaotic thinking or vacillating thinking that kind of comes in and kind of ruins that as far as how we're feeling about ourselves. And then Sunday the 5th, that's the big day. That's the full moon at 16 degrees of Leo. So that means the sun is at 16 degrees of Aquarius. Now, this full moon, it connects with quite a few planets. It connects by a sextile to Mars, planet of energy and action, in conjunct to Venus, ruler of relationships and money, a nice positive trine to Chiron, the wounded healer and shaman, a challenging square to Uranus, planet of liberation and freedom and the unexpected, and then an inconjunct to Mercury, planet that rules the mental realm. That inconjunct to Mercury and Venus means we're having to kind of adjust certain energies to allow things to flow a little bit more smoothly. The one of these aspects that stands out is, of course, that challenging square to Uranus. Remember on Friday, we had the sun in Aquarius square Uranus. And then as we move through Saturday and Sunday, the moon catches up, and the moon then squares Uranus on Sunday. So the whole weekend, we've got kind of this freedom, liberation, expect the unexpected, sudden, shocking kind of circumstances and events, maybe out in the collective or even in your own life. This is about, again, being unique, being your own independent, individualistic, original self. And so there's a lot going on the weekend this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides from that Tarot of Dreams deck. So I have to tell you, I first started out thinking I was going to use the Psychic Tarot deck, and I kept shuffling. Usually when I'm doing these readings, I kind of wait for cards to fly out of the deck or fall onto the floor. That's really, indicative for the messages that our angels and guides want to share with us on the collective level. Nothing was flying out of that Psychic Tarot deck. And so I finally asked if I was supposed to use a different deck. And then, of course, I was led to the Tarot of Dreams. And even then, the cards were not really wanting to show themselves. And so I just adjusted my thinking. I had a shift in perspective, as one would say. And I said, okay, we've got 3 major transits this week on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's pull one card for each of those transits. And then we started getting the story. We started getting the information. And so the card that was chosen for Friday the 3rd, with the sun squaring and a challenging square to Uranus, couldn't have picked a better card for freedom and liberation or independence and originality. This is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is all that, right? She's in charge of her own domain. And this is the domain of the mind. This is how she's thinking and perceiving, and even how she's communicating with others. And you can see she's got a sword in her hand. You can see the sign of Libra right here, right? So the Queen of Swords is related to Libra, which is often in my mind called the iron fist and the velvet glove, right? Libra is the sign of the scales, and she tries to balance kind of the masculine, feminine within her, because in astrology, Libra is known as a masculine sign of the zodiac, but she's ruled by Libra, which is a feminine planet. So those scales are balancing the masculine and the feminine here. And that phrase, the iron fist and the velvet glove, means she can be very strong, like this woman holding this sword, confident, courageous, independent, and strong. She's going to speak her mind and speak her truth, the Queen of Swords. But she's going to do so with that velvet glove energy, which is in this nice, loving, caring, compassionate, nurturing sometimes even energy. She's going to be strong, and she's going to state her truth and state her boundary, but she's going to do it in a nice peacemaking, at least as much as possible, a peacemaking way, right? She doesn't want to rock the boat too much. She doesn't want people to be upset or angry. She wants to take everything into consideration, all people's thoughts and emotions into consideration. That's why she's the sign of the scales. She's balancing everything, right? She's balancing the pros and cons. She's balancing her thoughts and other people's thoughts. So, but in the end, she's making the final decision, at least for herself, not for others. She's making the final decision for herself, and she's going to just speak her truth, okay? So this is that liberating Sun in Aquarius squaring Uranus this week, okay? Be the Queen of Swords. Now, the next aspect was Saturday the 4th, which is the Venus and Mars square, right? The two lovers of Venus and Mars challenging one another in these mutable, changeable signs of Pisces for Venus and Gemini for Mars. So this card is the Eight of Swords. And you can see here the glyph for Jupiter and Gemini. Wait, Gemini, Pisces? I gotta look now. They kind of made that a little bit weird. I'm going to say that's Gemini. Okay. So we've got Jupiter and Gemini up here at the top. Well, that's interesting because Mars is in Gemini, right? So we do have that Gemini energy. Jupiter is the planet that rules our belief systems and how we perceive things. And Jupiter has a tendency to exaggerate or blow things out of proportion. And you can kind of get the idea from the picture, the image on this Eight of Swords cards, that this might not be the most pleasant energy, right? We've got 8 swords with sharp points, and we've got this person that doesn't have any clothes on, and it's like she's, sitting on those swords. So what can we gain from this? This would be, to me, that we are maybe exposing ourselves. This is swords, so it's communication, thoughts, and perceptions. Maybe we're exposing ourselves, we're putting ourselves in a situation to where we're kind of feeling vulnerable. That's the word I want to look for. Look at, this person with no clothes. I feel like we're vulnerable in this situation right now. And the number 8 numerologically can be about empowerment, right? You often talk about me talking about power, control, empowerment, disempowerment. That can be the number 8 here. So I feel like we're feeling vulnerable, we're feeling exposed, maybe we're feeling disempowered based on the image in this picture, right? And maybe, though, that this is all about our perceptions, because Jupiter and Gemini is going to be about us exaggerating, maybe in the wrong direction, how we perceive a situation or perceive how a conversation is going or perceiving ourselves. And that can be part of that confusion, illusion, delusion, the challenge in the partnerships or in money matters, also with Venus squaring Mars. I feel like we have to maybe double check ourselves. It's interesting that she looks like she's in a bubble, because that bubble could also be that full moon that's coming up on Sunday, right? And that full moon coming up on Sunday is kind of magnifying the energies on Saturday with this Venus challenging Mars aspect. So I want to say that whatever's going on, there definitely might be some validity to feeling disempowered. Again, maybe a disempowered situation, circumstance, or communication with someone, but also look at the possibility that you might be blowing things out of proportion, or you need to shift your perspective to look at glass half full rather than glass half empty, not get expanded too much into the vacillating energies of Gemini to where things can just become very chaotic and lose kind of all sense of control and groundedness, right? So I would say take a breath, do what you can to stay grounded, not just on this day, but probably the whole weekend. Look for how you can empower yourself again, right? Empower yourself through not just necessarily words, because maybe it's not the right time to try to speak when you're feeling all discombobulated, but maybe just shift your perspective within yourself and find that more centered groundedness within yourself and your own thoughts and perceptions. And then that will help to empower you so that as we move through the rest of this weekend, and then if you do have to approach somebody or approach a situation or have a conversation with somebody, that it's going to turn out in a lot better way at that point. And then the last card, actually the last card did fall out of the deck. I didn't have to choose this one. And I did choose a clarification card. So there is 2 cards here. But the card that fell out was Major Arcana number 8. So here we have that 8 vibration again with empowerment. And this is the Strength card. Well, what a perfect card for the Leo full moon, right? Usually the Strength card shows a lion with a woman. This one shows a tiger with a woman. Interesting that we just came out of the year of the tiger and entered the year of the water rabbit, but nonetheless, we've got the Strength card, which is about confidence, courage, excuse me, creative self-expression, right? It's ruled by Leo for our Leo full moon. So this is about, to me, in this instance, look at that image there, right? A very kind of serious woman. She doesn't look angry. She just looks very serious. But she's going to stand in her strength. She's going to stand in her courage and confidence, stand in her truth. That tiger, if you want to call it a lion, is kind of giving out a little bit of a roar here. So she's going to say, hey, this is the way I see it for myself. This is what I desire. Now, remember that Leo, too, this whole idea of the full moon in Leo is about creative self-expression. That's what Leo is about. Leo wants to be appreciated and recognized for its light out in the world, its creative self-expression of light out into the world. And Leo wants to be, again, kind of, seen and appreciated and respected. And if they're giving, because they often are generous and they're giving a lot of their time or love or energy or whatnot, they want to feel like there's a return too, right? Aquarius is good at just giving for the sake of giving. They're the humanitarian. Leo likes to give, but they want to receive at least a thank you. At least a thank you, maybe again some appreciation for what they're doing out in the world. I'm just looking a little bit further at the imagery on this card. So she's got, I don't know if you can see, but she's got kind of this triangle right over her third eye here. So that full moon, right, as the moon becomes full, it often amplifies our psychic perceptions and our psychic abilities. But I feel like the psychic abilities are going to be kind of grounded also a little bit more with the root chakra. I was going to say in the ego, because the Strength card, sometimes does deal with our ego personality, but in this sense, she's balancing that quite nicely with her higher soul self and her ability to kind of tap into the divine and some of those higher psychic perceptions and information. But again, she's going to channel that down and she's going to utilize that through those lower chakras of the solar plexus, sacral, root chakra, to where again she stands in her confidence and stands in her truth. Let's go ahead and see what card I chose as a clarification card for this. Okay, and the card is, I can't even believe it. I just realized this is the 8 of Wands. So we had the 8 of Swords, Major Arcana number 8, and now we have the 8 of Wands. So, wow, the 8. What else is the 8 about? From a more third dimensional perspective, it's about our career path, life path, destiny path, business, finances, money, leadership, being our own authority, taking charge of our lives, right? Here we go, taking charge of our lives. But on that higher spiritual level, I always like to talk about the 8 as being about our spiritual empowerment, right? And it's also about giving as much as you're receiving, right? When you're in career and business, it's like you're looking to further your goals and receive some sort of recognition for it. But if you take the number 8, and you put it on its side, right, it becomes the infinity symbol. The infinity symbol is the balance of the material and the spiritual realm. So we have to give back as we're receiving. As we're receiving any kind of abundance in any form, we need to give back through love, or we could give back through finances, we could give back through time. We, need to just give back in some form to others. So the 8 of Wands, it's often about a lot of busy energy, right? Wands is the fire element. The Leo full moon. Leo is a fire sign of the zodiac. This is about passion, inspiration, creative energies. And the Eight of Wands often means that there's a lot going on all at once. We're having to juggle a lot. There's a lot of things maybe coming in all of a sudden that we have to take care of. It's a really kind of busy. It can sometimes get a little too busy and overwhelming and chaotic. But if we can focus on, funneling our creative self-expression through these different projects or ideas or channeling or relationships, business partnerships or whatnot. This is Mercury and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is another fire sign of the zodiac. Mercury rules thoughts, ideas, perceptions, communication, ideas. It's like, let's be kind of this networker. Let's talk to other people. Let's channel from a higher source, going back to her third eye chakra with the triangle over it. Let's channel from a higher source these ideas, from this inspiration from the divine, from higher realms, from our angels and guides, from our higher soul self, right? Mercury deals with the ego mind or the lower mind, but Sagittarius is quite prophetic and very clairvoyant, and they, claircognizant too, in a way. They just have things kind of pop in, and they're very creative, Sagittarius. So utilize all this passion, fire, creativity, expression, energy with your confidence, courage, and strength during this Leo full moon. Okay, whoops. Oh, I'm glad the camera didn't fall over because I just knocked the table, as you see. Okay, so, woo. All right, energy and spirit oracle, special message, depending on your stone of choice. Yeah, I'm a little animated here, huh? All that fire energy. All right, so we're giving this a shuffle because this is a brand new deck, although I shuffled it pretty well before. So we need to pull a special message of guidance for the Malachite people. Message for Malachite people. Okay, this one's calling my attention. Your eternal spirit. So your guidance is your eternal, it comes from your eternal spirit. And at the bottom it says, higher self and sacred intuition. That's exactly what we were just talking about. So it's time for you to tap into your higher self, your sacred intuition. Going back to this wonderful, I'm going to call her a priestess, okay, with that triangle over the third eye, right, ruled by Leo. And again, this is kind of that higher vibration of Leo. It rules the heart chakra, right? So this is like that Leo energy, that strength card is it's like the higher heart chakra. It's opening up to unconditional love and unconditional light, an expression of your light out into the world. And so connect to your eternal self. You can see this person also is in meditation, also with her third eye lit up. Okay? So higher self and sacred intuition is going to come through meditation time, self-reflection time, alone time. This is going to be a great full moon to tap in and see what comes out. You might want to try some automatic writing. Maybe you want to try some, channeling, which can either be in the written or spoken word. At least have a piece of paper and pencil next to you as you're meditating, because you might have ideas just kind of boop, 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 popping into your head, visions popping into your head. Maybe it's just colors or numbers or things that don't make sense. Jot them down anyway, because at some point they may make sense. In fact, I would also say to do a full moon meditation and have a few divination decks of your own, or tarot decks if you have any, and pull a card from a few of them for the full moon messages that you are supposed to receive and follow. Those are the messages that I'm getting here. And you can see where this is really expanding her consciousness, expanding her energy field, and expanding her creative self-expression out into the world. Okay? All right, those of you that chose the Rhodochrosite people. Special message for rhodochrosite. This one actually is popping out at me. Journey guide. Travel, change, and location. So this could actually be about relocating, moving your residence, moving your business. This could be traveling with your mind through meditation, astral traveling. This could be short distance travel. Maybe you're going to be teaching or taking a workshop, or just, traveling in your own state, or even in another state just for some special event or special purpose, maybe for a vacation. But this is about taking the journey. We see a lot of hot air balloons over here. To me, this is kind of higher mind, higher wisdom, higher knowledge, higher guidance, looking at things from a higher perspective. There does seem to be planet Earth here. And I'm looking at what's on planet Earth, and I'm thinking that just looks like buildings and, different things here that are around the globe. So this travel might be taking you around the globe. Maybe there's an opportunity. There's even an airplane here, okay? So there definitely seems like you need to pay attention. If it's not something that pops into your mind already, or you already know what this is about, watch for the next, I'm going to say 4 weeks, to possibilities and potentials and opportunities that come in for you to travel somewhere. Now, maybe it's by car or train or boat, could be by plane, but pay attention. It seems like the universe is going to come in with some sort of information for you as far as, hey, go here, go there. In fact, I was just thinking the other day that I want to travel to this metaphysical store, but it's only an hour away, so it's not, that big of a deal. I'm still going to go, and that could be the kind of travel that we're looking at. Open your hands to receive, right? Open your hands to receive the blessings from the universe. Leo energy likes to receive attention, recognition, appreciation. So in the same sense, open your hands and heart and energy field to the universe to accept whatever blessings the universe wants to bring to you. Travel, change, and location. This could even mean that you just need a temporary change of scenery, okay? If you work at home all the time, or if you never go on vacation, or you only do certain things every week, like go to the grocery store, go to the gas station, pick up the kids, whatever it is, go to your job. You need a change in scenery. Take a weekend off. Take a couple of hours off. Go find a nature park. Go, travel to the next town, see the mountains, see a lake. If you can't get outside because it is winter, and pretty cold here in most of the United States, then have a change of scenery and go to let's say a spiritual event, a connection like a Reiki share, or something in the neighboring town, right? Meet some new people. Have a change of scenery, right? Do something a little different. See something new. Just like I'm going to see that new metaphysical store. It's like, go see something new. That's the kind of change in location, if not on a larger scale, that this card is indicating. All right, and then for those of you that chose the green jade, let's give this a little shuffle here. Green jade message. Message for green jade people. Okay, this one's sticking up. It's kind of in the middle. And this one says, thought vibrations. Thought vibrations. And it says at the bottom, resonant choices and signature signals. So pay attention to the messages from the universe. Pay attention to the epiphanies, the aha moments, the synchronicities, the deja vu. Pay attention to all of these things. Resonant choices, well, you have to, again, thought vibrations. You have to pay attention to your thoughts. Where are your thoughts going? Try to keep them in the most highest vibration possible, the most positive, optimistic, glass half full, right? And then when you're in that state of high vibration or high resonance, that's when you want to make choices or decisions that you might have to make. So again, maybe you have to make a decision about a situation you're in. Maybe you have to make a choice between this path or that path. I would strongly suggest to not do that when you're in a chaotic, ungrounded, unfocused, fearful, or anxious state of energy, right? Do that when, after you meditate, when you feel grounded, when you feel centered, right? And sometimes a good way to do that is to walk barefoot outside on the earth, stand in the sand or on the ocean or in a lake, or hug a tree or sit next to a tree for a while and meditate. Again, if you can't be outside, just meditate. Have some quiet time where you're undisturbed. Maybe put in headphones and listen to spiritual music that can kind of transport you to a different place, a different time, that can raise your thoughts, raise your thought vibrations, so that you're more in connection with your higher soul self and the higher realms. And in that place, then I would say make your choice, make your decision, and listen to the signals and messages from the universe. So I hope you've all liked this weekly Empowered Moments video. Again, stay tuned for the monthly. It should be out and published soon on my channel. Thanking all of you for your love and support, and for your comments on my videos, for following me on Facebook and Instagram, and connecting with me through my services on my website. Sending you all lots of love and light, lots of Leo love and light. And until we meet next time, namaste.